So how long have you been an artist?
I've been an artist my whole life. I started when I was really young. I was probably 4 years old, and I was doing drawings and drawing my toys and things around me before I could even read or write.
So what made you become a tattoo artist?
I got into tattoos the second I saw them. When I saw people wearing them, walking around town, and I was super intrigued and just originally just wanted to have tattoos. And it just grew from there, and then I started drawing them over and over. I started drawing them for friends and family, and they were getting them tattooed, and then I got hooked.
Did you do an apprenticeship?
I did an apprenticeship. It was in Boston and Cambridge at a shop called Skin Art Studio, and it was under Kwa Nguyen and Mike Christie.
What themes do you pursue?
Themes, like style of tattooing? I originally started tattooing things that I like to get tattooed. I didn't really have a style. I didn't know what to do. At the beginning I was doing everything just to learn, and then it really just kind of went into the lane of, I guess, traditional and neo-traditional would be the title.
What part of the creative process excites you the most?
The creative process. Creative process is hard. Coming up with new ideas is really hard. Sometimes I'm not inspired, sometimes I am. But I think the part that I enjoy the most is when I'm actually making the tattoo.
Do you experiment with other styles?
Of course. Oh yeah. Yep.
And?
I guess the one I do now is the one I enjoy the most. There's been times where I've gone a little bit more, I don't know, rendered or a little more realistic, maybe more illustrative, and then I'll see those tattoos years down the road and think, oh man, maybe I should have toned it back a little bit, made it just a little bit bolder, maybe just a couple simpler colors. So I think that in my mind now, when I'm drawing or creating a tattoo, I think of what it will look like.
So you see yourself as still evolving as an artist?
Oh, for sure, always.
Okay. Do you take outside classes, art classes?
Yeah. Yep.
Such as?
I have a degree in fine arts and graphic design, and I've been taking art classes ever since I was a child. I would take art classes after school. I remember, I can't read or write really well. I'm very dyslexic. So we would have this, I don't know what it was called, some part of we would have to have silent reading, and it would stress me out so much. And then I convinced one of my art teachers to let me go and take another art class instead of sitting in silent reading. So I went and had like a one-on-one, or I think there was maybe one or two other students in the class too, but it just, from there, I just couldn't get enough of it.
All about art? All
about art.
Coil or rotary?
I use both. I learned on coil, and I love it. It's my daily drivers. But one of my friends got me into I don't know what's it called, the Dragonfly. That's it. And I've had that for many, many, many years. So that's pretty much my only rotary machine, and I use it for coloring and shading, but I line work with everything coil.
Needle on bar or cartridge?
I've never used a cartridge. I don't know why. I haven't done it. I see the appeal of it. I see how easy it would be to travel with and how quickly you can change through things. But for what I do and the tattoos I make, I really only use maybe 3 needles, 2 liners and 1 shader, so I'm not really popping back and forth between different groupings. So I just keep it with the needle bar. But I'm open to try it.
Who are your influences?
Influences in the tattoo world or art or anything?
Either.
I get inspired a lot by music. Music is a huge part of my life, so I like to get inspiration from lyrics or how songs make you feel. I get inspired a lot by traveling. I'll take pictures of everything, weird things I see in stores, on the street, and then I'll just make notes in my note section and just get inspired by that a lot. And there's too many tattoo artist influences to even list. There's so many right now that are just killing it.
So what's your favorite TATSoul product?
I mean, I use the grips and the needles every day. I think I've been exclusively using TATSoul. I looked it up last night, and I think I started in early 2011. So every tattoo I've made since 2011 has been exclusively TATSoul products.
You have a new studio.
I do. It's brand new.
Can you tell us about it?
Sure. It was something that kind of came up recently, where I was thinking of having something closer to home, spending less time in the car, less time commuting, more time focusing on art, clients, drawing, stuff like that. Because LA is, it's the way to keep sane if you don't have a commute. So this studio came up near the house, and I saw it. I looked at my wife, and I was like, this would be kind of a cool spot. It's super close. Maybe this is something I should do. Maybe I should, leave the shop I'm at now, which was a good friend of mine, so that was hard to do. And then not really take the risk, but take that next step and build my own spot. And
what's the name?
It's called Edgewood.
What place do you think tattooing has in the art world?
It's great. It's almost a fine art now. I mean, it was super lowbrow and looked down upon, and kind of like for bikers or in low lifes, sure. Which was kind of cool too. I enjoyed that because, I mean, in a way that was my people. But now it's just like everyone's so educated. Everyone's abilities in art is incredible. They're not just a tattooer. They're painters. They're sculptors. They're illustrators. They're designers. So it's a very vast industry and talent. It's gotten crazy.
You're on Instagram?
I am.
Why don't you tell us about where you are on Instagram?
My Instagram is Sylvia Tattoos, and the new shop one is Edgewood Tattoo.